Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Reporting. Roger.
Awaiting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Not a problem.
Yes. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Knowledge. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Right away, sir. You got it. Not a problem.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Waiting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Right away, sir.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Right away, sir. Right away, sir. Acknowledge. Right away, sir. Right away, sir.
Reporting. Affirmative. You got it. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Not a problem. Reporting. You got it. Got it. Not a problem. Reporting. Right away, sir. Roger. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Awaiting order. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. You got it. Affirmative. You got it. Affirmative. Right away, sir. You got it. Not a problem. Right away, sir. You got it. Roger.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Got it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Right away, sir. Affirmative. You got it. Yes, affirmative.
Mission saved.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Reporting. Waiting order. Affirmative. Waiting knowledge.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. You got it. Right away, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Roger. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Waiting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Awaiting order. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Right away, sir. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Waiting orders.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledge.
Roger.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Roger.
Awaiting orders.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Roger. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. You've got it.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Acknowledge.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Vehicle report.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Vehicle acknowledge.
Waiting order.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Reporting. Right away, sir. Acknowledge.
Right away, sir. Yes, acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction options. Building.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. You've got it. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete. Construction options. Building.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete. Construction options. Building.
Reporting.
Affirmative.
Reporting.
Vehicle reporting.
Construction complete. Low power. Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Training.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Roger.
ready.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Our base is under attack. Building.
Ready and waiting.
Affirmative.
Roger. You got it. Right away, sir.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building. Unit lost.
Ready and affirmative. Roger. Right away, sir.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete.
Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Construction options. Building. Training. Unit ready.
Reporting. Roger.
Construction complete.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting acknowledged. Waiting acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Construction complete. Construction options. Building.
Awaiting orders.
Ready and waiting. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Insufficient funds.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Report. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Building. Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Our base is under attack.
Vehicle acknowledged.
Structure sold. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting.
Construction complete. Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Reporting. Got it.
Unit lost.
Yes, yes. Reporting.
Yes, sir.
Building. On hold. Cancel.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledge.
Building. Silos needed.
Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. Silos needed.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledge. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Report. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Training. Silos needed.
Affirmative.
Silos needed.
Reporting.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Reporting. We, sir. Yes, sir.
Engineering. Affirmative. Waiting order.
Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Silos needed.
Vehicle reporting.
Building. Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Waiting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building. Silos needed.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Our base is under attack. Construction complete. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Cannot deploy. Unit lost. Building. Construction complete. Building.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Vehicle reporting. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Building. Training. Unit ready.
Awaiting order.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Yes, affirmative.
Training. Building. Construction complete. Unit
Yes,
ready.
affirmative.
Building. Training. Unit ready.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building. Building. Unit ready. Construction complete. Unit lost.
Got it. Yes, got it.
Building.
Yes. Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Awaiting order. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Construction
Acknowledge.
complete.
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Waiting order. Roger.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
New construction options. Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Structure sold.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Building.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Structure
Yes, sir.
sold.
You got it.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Building.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledge.
Building. Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledge.
ready. Building.
Affirmative.
Our base is under attack. Unit
Vehicle
ready.
reporting.
Building.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Unit ready. Structure sold. Building.
Reporting.
Right away, sir.
Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledge.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit lost. Training.
Reporting.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Roger. Right away, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building. Unit
acknowledged.
lost.
Affirmative. Vehicle.
Unit lost.
Yes, acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building. Our
Affirmative.
base is under attack.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
lost.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building. Building. Unit ready.
Reporting. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledge.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building. Unit ready. Building.
Awaiting
Repair.
orders. Affirmative.
Unit repaired. Unit ready. Repairing. Unit repaired. Building. Repairing.
Vehicle reporting.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
repaired. Repairing. Unit ready. Unit
Yes, sir.
repaired. Repairing.
Affirmative.
Building. Unit repaired. Repairing. Unit ready. Unit
Reporting.
repaired. Repairing.
Affirmative.
Unit repaired. Repairing. Unit repaired.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Repairing.
Affirmative.
Unit repaired. Repairing. Unit repaired. Repairing. Unit ready. Unit repaired.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Repairing. Unit repaired. Our base is under attack.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Repairing. Unit repaired.
Waiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Silos needed. Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. You've got it, yes, sir. You've got it. Right away, sir. Affirmative. You've got it. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Roger. You've got it. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Right away, sir. Roger. You've got it. Yes, sir.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit lost. Building. Unit lost.
Got it.
Silos needed.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Roger,
ready.
waiting. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Silos needed. Building. Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Ready?
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Right away, sir. Affirmative. Right away, sir.
Building.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. sir.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Acknowledge.
Silos needed.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. 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 Acknowledge.
Unit lost.
Right away, sir.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting.
Waiting order. Acknowledge.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Silos needed.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Unit
Acknowledge.
lost. Unit lost.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Silos needed.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Lost.
Not a problem.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Silos needed.
Reporting.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Silos needed.
Ready. Waiting.
Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Knowledge. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Vehicle reporting.
Silos needed. Building. Construction complete. Mission accomplished.